Good evening, friends. I was not knowing about the topic with what was given to me, but good. Now, if you look at my today's LinkedIn post, I am clearly speaking on the problem what country is facing on the game called PUBG. And it's last 4 years, I'm demanding that we need to have online gaming regulator or gaming regulator of any sorts. Because the games which have been positioned to Indian market for Indian kids is not culturally or anyways evaluated. And this has been immediately given in the market and our young kids are playing it, and we have so much psychological and actually bodily problems which our kids are facing. So my constant ask is that if your cricket, kabaddi, football, everybody has a regulator, even your online gambling gets regulated, everything gets regulated, and why not the gaming? So that's how this today's my today's view, today's thought is. But cyber security, second point is, like if you see, people keep saying that there are very less people in cyber security. And I feel if someone is saying this, then he is very new to this field. Because cyber security is not a field in itself. It is an upgraded version of whatever you are learning in the colleges. Like if you are looking at the number of engineers which are being passing out in our country, they are huge. They are in lakhs. If you upgrade them with some kind of cyber security education, they get useful to you in using them in any industry. What novelty I want to present today is, now suppose we have BFSI segment. Cyber security in BFSI would work little different. Cyber security in industrial automation will work little different. Cyber security in different industries will work little different. The same guy being used everywhere, he can handle the products well, but his concepts would be based on the industry where he is working. So why not evolve now specialist cyber security in the industry per se, in the segment per se? Now suppose you have somebody from stock exchange, and what you require in stock exchange, what happens very uniquely? Because now we are not at the step that we have some vendors, like there was a Gartner survey where you have every organization at least has around 38 to 40 vendors, cybersecurity vendors which they are catering to. But every product behaves differently in different scenario in different industry. So why not have a cybersecurity person who actually works differently in an industry where he is coming from? So this is one aspect of it. And this can actually be trained over a period of time. You take a fresh engineer, group of engineers, train them in the cybersecurity issues, what your companies are facing, and then we can upgrade them. The HR policy of recruiting cybersecurity professionals in the organization is still skewed. Second is, the legal knowledge of this cybersecurity people in the industry is further skewed. Because the legal knowledge or the compliance knowledge what this IT people possess is all about what they read on internet. And my dear friends, let me tell you, if you want to read, if you want to know something about the IT law or the law which is happening right now in the country, don't read it from internet, because the writers there are techies. And when techies write law, they feel that every year the law changes. Just to give an example, like when you have upgrades of operating system of Android, they also feel that the IT Act gets updated and upgraded every year. Such is not the case. IT Act is still IT Act 2000. But people still write IT Act 2008. I have seen latest who have written IT Act 2018, 2017, whatever they want. IT Act is still IT Act 2000. It doesn't get modified. So certain basic training about the legal framework which governs cybersecurity is also needed to the cybersecurity professionals in your organization, which I don't see too much happening across the industry per se. Said that, you need to also see what is happening in the social media paradigm. Now, social media has been exploited by all the organization, but when it comes to cyber security being infiltrated from social media platforms, this is very less handled in Indian context because the loophole in your IT department or the loophole in your organization is the mobile device which your people are bringing in your organization, and that often gets mislooked, or some people try to overcome with bring BYOD or bring your own disaster kind of scenarios where people bring that their own devices and bring a lot of other things also along with it. I don't want to talk much about law part here, but since I've talked about malware and bring your own disaster, that word I used, IT Act has one specific section called Section 43C, and it says anyone who spreads computer contaminant. See, when the law is drafted, it is always tech neutral. So they didn't use word called malicious code, virus, worms. They said whoever spreads computer contaminant, the punishment, my dear friends, is only up to 3 years of imprisonment and only 5 lakhs of penalty. And nowadays you get media attention for free. Okay, so when you're spreading viruses or you are medium of spreading viruses, 43C read with section 66 also applies. So how this particular scenario is implemented in the organizations is also a peculiar thing where lot many people have forensics done when some events happen, but this forensics is been done by private person. Now because when Mr. Sahu touched upon the bank called Cosmos Bank, and Cosmos Bank is my client, I'm handling the whole scenario. Now I'm going to give you a real life case in this, and I'll stop for your questions, or I'll stop there. This incident, when it happened, before police touching the evidence was touched by the forensics investigator. After that, police took the evidence. Now see the fineness of it. Once police took the evidence, the logs of forensics guy touching this evidence is within the logs which police have collected. So police can clearly see that somebody else has also touched. Now if police wants, can file a case on this investigator for corrupting the evidence or handling the evidence or manipulating the evidence. Or point number 2, if such much the case actual stands, the defense will always have this point that the whole case is based on, the police investigation is based on manipulated evidence. Such is the fine knowledge which needs to be handled. And you know who told me? The police DCP only had called and told me that this has happened in this case. So small things needs to be taken care of when cyber security incidents are happening. Don't jump upon what has happened to other incidents. Take some legal opinion, take some opinion somewhere, and then continue with this. Final thing is, the best thing what corporates are always afraid, and they always come back to me, is on police complaints. Because police doesn't entertain you when even small data theft or other kinds of complaints are there. And majority of the time we handle a lot of clients handling their police complaints of data theft, pornography found in their websites, or hacking being done, or any kind of things which relates to technology related offense. So this also needs to be managed, and this needs some kind of written policy somewhere how to handle when an incident happens and which requires police attention. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for calling me. Thank you.